Welcome. Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Peter Pietrantonio, who is the Senior Director of Global Marketing from Google Cloud. Peter, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Really exciting time with the cloud industry right now, which I'm excited to be talking to you about today.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about cloud innovation. We're going to talk about marketing innovation and doing marketing at scale, and also what you're passionate about, which is really mentoring and coaching your team, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's start. Let's talk about Google Cloud and how is the industry and what's innovative, what's happening.
The cloud industry is a very exciting time to be in right now. A lot of companies are just starting their cloud journey. Many new organizations are building their companies straight onto the cloud. Mm-hmm. So we see this dichotomy going on from, the really big, mature organizations, building their cloud journey right through to those that are just born in the cloud. So it's a very exciting time. And we see all different companies entering the cloud in very different ways. From a Google Cloud standpoint, Google was born in the cloud. We operate some of the biggest cloud businesses now. For example, with YouTube, over 1 billion users, Google Play, Android, over 2 billion users. So we have very large businesses at scale that, that have been on the cloud for a very long time. And so there's a lot of skills and technology that we bring to the table. We're a data-driven company. Mm-hmm. We've built incredible data analytic skills and data systems and services that we're able to provide to customers today that really enable them to do things that they've never been able to do before. So a very exciting time. And
Google Cloud actually has two major product lines. You got the G Suite, and then you have the cloud services.
Yes, right? we do. We have our two, in terms of Google Cloud, we have two focused products, okay. I would say. The first one is around G Suite. G Suite is our collaboration tool.
Yeah, and we use G Suite for
right,
work.
And a lot of companies are enjoying G Suite. Yeah. We have a lot of businesses now using G Suite. And a lot of big companies are moving to G Suite in particular because of the innovation. What G Suite does is allows companies to collaborate like they've never been able to do before. So you just get a tremendous productivity increase from it. All the tools are being built for the cloud. Mm-hmm. So everything it's a terrific cloud-based collaborative tool set. Everything from docs to sheets to Hangouts to text. All of it's integrated in a seamless way that companies can just take advantage of. Yeah. When I joined Google and I was using the Google G Suite technologies, it was just an amazing experience to just step into these meeting rooms and everything would just work seamlessly together. You could collaborate and work on docs in real time really efficiently. And that, for me, it's changed the way we do marketing. It's changed the way that we work and collaborate together. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of other organizations see that as part of Google's innovation. And so they're using these tools to help bring some of that Google innovation into their company.
And it also kind of ups the expectation, I think, as a user, now that I've experienced that seamlessness of having many tools, collaborate and working in teams so easily. It's like that's the expectation whenever I use other products. Innovation is changing the expectation of the consumers.
Yeah, I think in many ways, G Suite is really demonstrating how efficient and how effective teams can work in a really collaborative way when they have the tools that work together and allow them to do that. And it's very powerful. And so on the other side of the Google Cloud business is what we call our Google Cloud Platform. Mm-hmm. That's our infrastructure as a service and all of those other services we provide under our cloud umbrella. Mm-hmm. That's a very large market. A lot of the companies are now moving a lot of their workloads from on-prem to Google Cloud. And we're working with a ton of companies right now, from the very large to the digital natives and the startups. And it's a big trend where, customers are looking to do get more from their technology. And so the cloud is enabling them both running efficient infrastructure layers, but also too enabling them to access and analyze their data so they can do more innovative things. Services like AI and machine learning become available when you have a data on the cloud with tool sets that enable them to do that. And that's some of the benefits of working with Google Cloud, is that when they bring when they're on the Google Cloud, they're able to then leverage all of those services that provide incredible advantage to their business.
I want to talk about marketing, because now I realize that your customers or your prospects that you're going after are really the developers, right? So I think that marketing, there's a lot of innovation in marketing too. And in your role, there's just a huge market out there. So you have to do things at scale. Can you share your strategy with us in doing marketing at scale?
Yeah, developers are a really, really important partnership that we have with Google. Google overall has obviously been working with developers for a very long time, and there's a tremendous support base that we have with developers. We see that same trend happening with Google Cloud. Really, really important. Ultimately, what developers work on from a tech standpoint can influence the organization's strategic direction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so we're really focused around how do we reach those developers at scale. We've coined this phrase in Google Cloud marketing around learners marketing. Mm-hmm. And what that is at the very core is, how do we get more technology in the hands of more developers? How do we get more skills to those developers so they can learn and use and build what's next? Mm-hmm. So we've devised a really programmatic approach where we can do this at scale. And the opportunity is for the developer is then for them to build skill sets that they can take into the future and leverage and use some of the amazing Google technologies mm-hmm. available on the cloud. So
what's the go-to-market? I mean, you've got like 80 cities that you need to be.
So Google Cloud and Google is a global company. So developers are everywhere. Mm-hmm. Locations, well, they're global. So how do we reach them mm-hmm. In a way that's really effective? Mm-hmm. From a marketing standpoint, we look at it in two parts. The first part is, how do we build something and then just deploy it everywhere? This model is really important because it allows us to run really quickly mm-hmm. from a marketing standpoint, but also it allows us to reach developers in a really, really efficient way. So a lot of the programs we build centrally, and then we'll take them and deploy them regionally. Mm-hmm. And it's what we call... we've coined this phrase called pitcher-catcher model.
Pitcher-catcher.
We build it, and then there's somebody to catch it and deploy it.
Got it.
They'll also add their local nuances to it, so it makes it impactful in the market. Mm-hmm. And so, like, for example, we have this program called Onboard, and we built it, designed it centrally, and then we roll it out to 80 cities. What happens in those 80 cities is that the developers get to access our technology and our experts so that they can learn and see and feel the technology. To do that for 80 cities, it's this process that we work with allows us to do that. It's very efficient. Mm. And then, of course, to get even more scale is we then take that and then we put it online. Okay. And so we have this program called On Air, where it's always on and developers can continue on their learning journey with Google Cloud. All right.
Okay. You spent last year really recruiting and hiring and building out that regional leadership team.
Yes.
Right? And you continue to recruit.
Yes. Google. So the cloud is a growing market, and it's a big opportunity for Google and for Google Cloud. So last year was a year where we really laid the foundation in terms of building the global teams, mm-hmm. But we were really building from grounds up and laying out all of the teams in the region. So for me, it was a phenomenal time just bringing in all this amazing talent into Google Cloud to help us drive our marketing strategy and execution within the regions. So we've built those up. And now the next phase of that journey is to enable them. And so the team that we're managing now is building all of the programs that they're going to be taking into market to create demand and enable customers in all those regions that we are in.
Okay. Well, now I want to shift to what you're passionate about also, which is the development of your team, growing your team, mentoring, coaching them.
Yeah, it's, as you build new teams very quickly, one of the challenges that you have is, how do they come in? How do you onboard them? How do you enable them to be effective into the role as quickly as they can? Google Cloud has this amazing culture of innovation.
Yes.
And how do you nurture that and then carry that through with all of these people joining your team? So that's been a really big focus for mine personally. But, behind that, it's incredibly important that I find as a leader to make sure that you're working with those individuals to enable them. And basic tools like really giving them, clear goals, giving them clear roles. As you're adding more people to your team, roles can often overlap. Mm-hmm. And so, having to refine the organization constantly and making sure that their roles are clear and they have a clear charter is something that's held me in good stead in helping build and enable those teams to come on board quickly and, and operate efficiently and obviously productively and they enjoy being with the team. Personally, I spend a lot of time, particularly with my leads, enabling them to enable their teams, really being clear on the goals that we're achieving for the business, the focus areas, and then also working with them to make sure we're clearing roadblocks and we're innovating and inspiring our teams to innovate. Because I think some of the best ideas come from individuals in some of the regions that we can, see the impact that it has, mm-hmm. and then we can bring it back to a global team, package it up, and then give it to everybody else to use as well.
Okay. Are you using your own technology like AI to actually help you be more effective and efficient in the marketing operations?
Yeah, we operate the closed loop, what I call the closed loop marketing process. Mm-hmm. So building everything from demand programs right through to the sales development team that actually take all those leads and they qualify them, then pass them on to the sales. So that whole closed loop marketing process, we do that globally, mm-hmm. And it's what really gives us scale. It's what also leans marketing into where it adds the most value for the sales team. Ultimately, the demand engine for what we give to sales and to our partners. And with that, one of the things that we've really been thinking about, particularly as AI and ML matures, is like, how do we use and leverage Google's technologies to improve the experience that customers have, mm-hmm. through that journey with us. Mm-hmm. And so AI and ML are tremendous opportunities where we can start to enable our customers much more efficiently based on things that they want to get from us. We can deliver that content to them more directly, mm-hmm. So that they're learning quicker and they don't have to go through a lot of manual processes to find what they need. One, it enables the customer, and the customer could be the developer or whoever it is, to learn about the technology and get the information they need much quicker. Mm-hmm. And then it also provides them an ability to, for them to then work with our sales team to implement whatever solution is that they're looking for their company.
Okay, well, there's so much going on. So what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to do most?
The thing that I'm really excited about is, there's two things I'm really passionate about. One is passionate about marketing. I've always done marketing my entire career. Yeah. And then I'm passionate about technology. Technology is enabling people around the world to do so many things, mm-hmm. that they've never been able to do before. You bring those two things together and to be able to enable, for example, developers, enable them and give them the technology so that they can get hands-on and learn it and then see what the possibilities are with the technology that's available to them. and then seeing them build the next big thing. For me, that's what makes me get out of bed in the morning and says, wow, who am I going to help today to empower them so that they can go in there and build, what's next. So they're my two things that I'm most passionate about.
And you've had a very successful career, and you worked at a lot of big companies,
Yes.
IBM and VMware, and you came from Australia.
Yes.
So I would ask you this question, which I think a lot of maybe folks are curious about, is your career advancement.
Yes.
What strategy did you use, and what advice would you give to those?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, and I get asked a lot. I would say to you, I feel pretty blessed that I'm able to do this role that I enjoy tremendously at Google Cloud. My journey was a couple of things that I've always held as my guideposts for my journey. One is I never wanted to be a marketing specialist. I always wanted to be, a marketer in the broader sense. So I never locked myself into a specialist function. I was always, working across all the different facets of marketing. And I made a point in my career to do those sort of things. When I started at IBM, IBM taught me really how to enable teams with content and programs. And so that was an important foundational piece. Then when I moved to Lenovo, that really taught me around how to create demand in a very, in a very fast environment, in a very competitive environment. And then moving to VMware was, I think, a very critical part of my career. That's where, I was at VMware before, when it was virtually a startup, and then it became a global company, and it changed the way people do compute. And being part of that, where you build a team and then you learn some of the key marketing skill sets or lean into those.
Yep.
That's where I learned around enablement, and really focused on enablement for customers, because once they were enabled, it just proliferated the technology into everywhere. And then it became an industry standard for compute. So that was exciting. And then Google Cloud and obviously cloud and what cloud provides is the next frontier. We're now moving into a world from VMware to containers. And Google Cloud has an incredible story around containers, because it actually enables customers to do even more things from a hybrid cloud standpoint. We announced Anthos, which is tremendous technology. It's a leapfrog for what everybody's been doing traditionally, and it gives them access to compute power anywhere, and all of their workloads become highly mobile and obviously able to be a hybrid. So from a marketing standpoint, the thing that I would say to most listeners is if when building a career, just be really focused on what it is that you want to achieve and go after it, and work hard and be focused on it, because you do find over time that as you master those areas of things that you want to learn, they do come together and they provide the opportunities.
Excellent. It's been a great conversation, Peter. Thank you for being on the show and sharing with us.
Thank you so much. It's been great to be here and spending the time with you as well.
There you have it, folks. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Peter Pietrantonio from Google Cloud.